Hello and welcome, race fans, to Season 2, Race 1 with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live on Tuesday night. This is MW Productions, and I'm Michael Keaton up in the booth tonight with me, Kyle Taraska, and as well, Michael Woolley, MW himself, Maniac, down in the production studios, making all the famous pictures work for you tonight. Again, welcome. Race 1 of the Season 2, Dover International Speedway, the Monster Mile. Welcome aboard tonight, Kyle. And tonight we've got 19 drivers so far that's put a time down in practice, 12 in qualifying as qualifying is underway. And it's shaping up to be a good one tonight. Again, Dover International Speedway, the 1 mile racetrack. And with that said, we're going to take you down trackside for the promotion video tonight and for the national anthem. And when we return, we'll have the starting lineups and a little bit more offered here at Dover.
New shoes, yeah, I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. But every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Watch, diamond ring. Well, I ain't missing on a single thing. Conflicts, stick pin. And I still don't know to do you in. They come running just as fast as they can.
Hey, look here, beavers. You better hide your wives, hide your husband, and look here, both of you hide your kids, because we're coming.
Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Looking sharp, looking for love. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Make some noise! Clean shirt, new shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. But every girl's crazy about it. Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's great glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Back live, and qualifying has been completed. Tonight's starting lineup. Row 1, pole position, that number 24 car, Stefan Marinac. To his outside, the green, white, and black Toyota, Matt LaCrosse.
And rolling off in row 2 to 68 is Scott Simley, and to 66 of Brian Harvey.
Number 5 belongs to the 26 car of Jose Gonzalez. To his outside, the 6th place quickest car in qualifying, Ben Burnett.
And then Scott Brotherton, he's going to roll off in 7th, and Jay Randall Watkins, he's going to roll off in the 8th position tonight.
9th quickest is Jay Horton, and it is the 35 of Chad Schilling.
And on the inside of row 6 to 28 of Ryan Vaughn, and LD Severia will be starting in 12th.
Here comes Bobby Terrell in that 91 machine tonight, sporting that new number. Be 13th. And the last to take, well, the last one on, let's see, not to take qualifying here. The first one not to take qualifying is the 4 car, CJ Lavera, 14th.
And then rounding out in the next row will be in his 15th position will be the 36 of Rich Jett, and then Douglas Wyatt will be in the 5 car. He starts 16th.
17th and 18th belongs to John Wilco and Edison Lima Jr.
And then rolling out tonight in the 19th and 20th position to round out the 20 car field, the 98 of Stephen Herring, and Frank Coons, he'll start in the 20th position.
So there you have it, folks. 20 drivers set to take field tonight in race number 1, season 2 in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. And as CJ Lavere says, long race, boys. Take it easy. Thanks for coming, and good luck to everyone. 140 laps.
Yeah, it's
Well,
gonna be a long race tonight, Keaton. But
minus 10.
If the guys can keep it green, I mean, it relatively will be a short race. Guys could relatively do 100 laps here in under an hour. So it should be about an hour and 15-minute race or so we're looking at tonight. But one thing we got to keep in mind is the cliff. Something that many iRacers know about with the new tire model that iRacing has produced for the new iRacing season. What happens is that the tire, after about 35 to 40 laps, the tire falls off about 4 seconds just drastically with no kind of warning. It's going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out tonight. If guys are going to try to play it for the long run and just try to ride it out, or if they're going to try to short pit and try to make up all the time. It's going to be a battle of tires here tonight, Michael Keaton.
It will be, and it'll be interesting to see these guys coming off each corner. You know, I saw a couple of weeks ago during some practice runs with some cars out on Dover's International Speedway, turns 2 and 4 coming off the corner. It's going to be fun to watch. It's the pace car for the first time tonight, dips down below, and we're about to go green. It's Stefan Marinak, and that 24 machine takes us to it.
Yep, and he's going to take the lead here, clear by about 5 to 10 car lengths with a big jump on that restart. He went really early. He's going to go into turn 1 all clear all around. Field's going to start to spread out here as they come off of 2.
So far, everyone getting through 1 and 2 perfectly fine. Now they'll come off into 3 and 4, all pretty much single file here. Not one driver side by side with anyone. So single file out of turns 4, back into turn 1. Stefan Marinak leads the field. We're still green flag racing. Lap 1 has been completed here at Dover.
And one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on, and we see it already this early, guys are moving up the racetrack. The turns are very swooping through the middle, but they're very narrow on exit. Guys are going to try to dime in the corner. I mean, they're going to try to run up about a lane and a half up in the center of the corner to give them a straighter exit and keep their momentum up and higher speed on the exit. So far, we're seeing the fast guys up in the front do that, and we got trouble in the back.
Yeah, 37 machine, Ben Burnett, gonna loop it off of turn 4 at Kyle, and nearly get it sits to the outside wall, but actually he'll nail the inside wall, and he's got heavy damage to that front end.
Yeah, and it's just a common thing that we see at the Monster Mile, and they do call it the self-cleaning racetrack because there really is nowhere to hide here with the corners and the straightaways being so banked, and then the walls being so close to the track, whether it's on the outside or inside of the track. And then he just got loose off of 40. This is a fixed setup, and the setup is pretty loose on exit. Got to be really good with your tire control here, or with your throttle control, not spin the tires. And that National Guard Superman Chevrolet paid the price there off of turn 4 on lap 3.
Yeah, he's going to need to come down pit road and get some of his kryptonite, huh?
Yeah, I guess so, Keaton. But yeah, like I said, just a really loose setup here, and then with the new tire model, just something the guys have been struggling with all week that I've been seeing so far at Dover, and just unfortunately Burnett bit the bullet there.
Yep, first car out, or not so much out of the race, but he will have the crew will have to go to work on that car to get it back up to speed. But one car so far. One car solo spin off of turn 4 here brought us under the yellow flag. We had a couple of laps of green flag action here. If you're just joining us here at Dover International Speedway, this is the MW Productions live coverage of the second season of the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. Race 1 tonight, Dover.
Yep, and it's, even though technically this is the 13th race of the series, but this is the first race of the second season because what they do here in this league, they split the season up into a couple here instead of just making it one dragged out, have multiple champions, keep the series fresh and always guessing. And it's a fresh start for a lot of guys. So even though, you know, for Burnett, I mean, he's obviously, we see him on pit road right now. He's got some extensive damage that he's working on, but still, it's a long race, got plenty of time to make up positions and points in this race, and not only for this race, but for the entire season as well.
Absolutely. Tonight's race named the Ben, and I'm gonna take a stab at this. The Ben and Ilene Dover.
Hey, we'll take it, Keaton. We'll take it.
Yeah, Ilene, we'll take it.
Hey, you took a shot at it, and we gotta respect that. But in the meantime, the field, we should be expecting the one to go this time by, I believe, what I'm hearing from race control. See the field starting to line up here, and pace car lights do go out, so the field does get the one to go. Stefan Marinak, he's going to lead us to green once we come back around. And then Matt Lacrosse will be second, Simley third, Gonzalez in fourth, and Harvey in fifth. And then Keaton, one thing I want to keep an eye on, I mentioned the Clift in the pre-race here on the pace lap with the tire wear. And even though there was only 3 laps there, we saw Bobby Terrell back in 17th. He pitted, and then he's going to have 3 extra laps on those tires before the guys get to that point where they're going to have extreme tire fall off. I don't know. I mean, if we get a green flag run here, do you think that those extra 3 laps will make a big difference for Terrell?
You know, trying to work his way up through the field, you know, he's probably going to lose the tire the tires that he just got on. You know what I'm saying? He's got to work his way through the field.
As he works up through the field, he's just going to burn off, and it's going to even out to where he was.
Even out, exactly. Good, yeah, exactly.
But it's just, but no, it is something to keep an eye on, and something we got to keep an eye on for the rest of the night. But pace car is off, and Marinak with a huge jump going way before the restart box. But I guess the officials are going to say it's all clear, and he's going to lead the field in turn 1 by 10 car lengths.
Matt Lacrosse will be the second driver. Scott Simley in the 68 machine works up underneath him off of 2. Scott Simley will move his 68 Ford machine back up into the second spot as Jose Gonzalez settles in for 4th. Single file back out real quick, Kyle. These guys get single file back out quick.
Yeah, and there's really not a big reason to race too hard too early. This is a long race. It's a tough track with a really difficult setup. We saw what happened to the 37 of Ben Burnett on lap 3, and he was all by himself when he spun. And it's very treacherous. As I said, the corners, they really tighten up and become really narrow on the exit of these corners. It's very difficult to run side by side here on the exit. Really don't want to see any guys take any too major chances too early because they want to be here at the end because they know it's a long season and they got to fight for every point they can get.
Very true, and one car down on pit road. It is the 37 machine of Ben Burnett, 3 laps down now, nearly 4. He was the reason for the first caution tonight at Dover. Self-solo spin, creamed the inside wall on the front stretch. Pretty much night ended for him as we're still fanned out here, single file, a little bit of double file action, a little pass back here in 10th spot. And 9th where J. Randall Watkins is under fire.
Yeah, and while you're watching that, I'm keeping an eye on the battle for the lead here. Even though it's not really much of a battle right now, Scott Simley's been slowly clicking off the interval between him and the leader, Marinak. He's slowly catching up, running a little bit different line from what I noticed through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Running a little bit lower than what Marinak is running. Might become an advantage for him, but again, if he's running that lower line, that tighter line, might be burning his tires up a little bit too early, but we got another caution on the speedway.
Same exact wreck here. Kyle coming off of turn 4, the 98 car. Stephen Herring in 17th position. Lose it off 4, cream the inside wall.
Yeah, and again, all by himself. It was a self-cleaning track, and it was a self-spin, just a very loose setup. But yeah, just watch the replay here. He tried to chase that thing. He lost that car right around where the entrance of pit road is, and he actually didn't hit the wall until they reached the front straightaway. Just to see, he did try to save the car, but he just did not do enough there. And like I said, I'm gonna say probably about 10 more times other than that, as we also saw the 48 of Frank Coons. He got some piece of that action too. Looks like he spun ahead of that wreck towards the exit of pit road, but very loose setup, and unfortunately just got this 98.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid that. He actually got a good lick of that wall there on the outside through the front stretch. So we'll see how much damage is done to that car, as pretty much the entire field going to take the opportunity to come down pit road, except for your 2 front guys, Jose Gonzalez and Marinak. They're going to stay out.
Yeah, I can't say I agree with that call to stay out, but we're going to focus on the battle on pit road right now. Guys are pulling out. Looks like 4 tires and fuel. That's going to be the call. And again, it's going to be a matter. We're going to have 13 extra laps on their tires if we get a long green flag run here. That could be a big difference maker if we do in fact get a green run.
Very quick exit there for Scott Simley. He'll stay in 3rd. Matt Lacrosse 4th. LeVere's going to go from 7th to I think about 5th or 6th here when it's all said and done. Ben Burnett, a driver staying out here trying to get a lap back. Remember, folks, he's 7 down. Stephen Herron also up here in front of the leader, fortunately, so he'll get the wave around with Frank Coons as well.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, they were the 2 cars that were actually involved in the incident to bring out this caution, so they elected to stay out so they could stay on the lead lap. Not sure if I agree with that call either, considering there's only 20 cars in this race, and I'm sure with such a loose setup, there's going to be, unfortunately, I think there's going to be multiple cautions, plenty of opportunity to get that lucky dog or a wave around. I think the right call would have been to come in here, get your damage fixed, get 4 fresh tires, and see where it could take you. But, you know, that's why they're the driver, and we're up in the booth here, Keaton.
That's right, man. I tell you, they don't want me down there we'll have a record number of cautions if they put me in the car. But yeah, that's it's typical Dover. I mean, it's the monster mile, like you said. The wall is going to reach out and grab these guys. It's a clearing track where there's no room for error. I mean, if you wreck off 2, you're going to hit one of the walls, the inside wall or the outside wall. You wreck off 4, same exact thing. And we've already seen 2 wrecks, 2 cautions off of turn 4 tonight already early on, and we're 13 laps into this, and we've still got about 17 to go.
Yeah, and what the narrow track has to do is, because there's a half-mile harness track up here in the center of Dover National Speedway, really pushing the walls out on the backstretch, and it really doesn't give the teams any kind of room here, as we see the 48 and 91 pull off the pit road. But it really doesn't give the teams any room here on the front stretch either. It really makes a narrow pit road, and the wall comes right out to the track. Not much room for comfort here to Dover National Speedway, and we're seeing that with all the wrecks so far.
If you're not looking or you're not watching, the wall will reach out, turn into a monster, and grab you at the Monster Mile here at Dover. Lights coming off, as the famous Evan Pasoko would say, the lights have been extinguished atop the Ford First Racing Mustang.
Yep, and with that Ford First Racing Mustang out leading the field right now, when they come back off of turn 4 to get the green flag, Stefan Marinak, he'll lead us down again with Jose Gonzalez, Scott Simley, Matt Lacrosse, CJ Laverde. That'll be your top 5. The 66 of Brian Harvey will be in 6th, Scott Brotherton in 7th, LD Sariba will be in 8th, J. Randall Watkins in 9th, and Chad Chilling will be in 10th.
We're going to go one more time around. They waved the green flag off to allow Ben Burnett around the pace car. That may be a lucky, that may be the lucky dog recipient there.
I think there was a little bit of confusion between the drivers and race control right there with the guys that stayed out. I think they wanted to stay out to try to stay ahead of the pace car so they would not lose an additional lap of what they already did from their incidents. And I think when they stayed out there, they looked to get the wave around, but they wanted to get their damage fixed. Just race control trying to take care of the incident, make it all fair, make it as fair as possible for all the competitors. And as you saw, they waved off the caution flag as we see the 37 Burnett go by again here on the front stretch. But pace car lights go off once again. Now we get one to go.
Yep, should be going back green here. 15 laps now complete, so 115 laps to go here at Dover International Speedway. The 1 mile monster track here in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live on Tuesday night. MW Productions, Mike Keaton up in the booth tonight. Alongside with me, Kyle Tarasca, and of course, MW himself, Michael Woolley, down into the production hauler, giving you all the sights and sounds for tonight's race here. Got a long way to go. Stefan Marinak looks pretty quick, 5th quickest in practice, but he put it slap dead on the pole in qualifying. Matt Lacrosse 3rd quickest in practice, and he would start on the outside pole here tonight. So the most disappointing tonight driver so far would be the 6th place fastest car, and 6th placed qualifying fastest car, Ben Burnett, as he's wrecked out. As we go back green here, Stefan Marinak takes us to it for the 4th time tonight.
Yeah, and a big checkup out there in the back with the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. Big checkup there. Guys are starting to file out now, single file once again. Guys, just got to try to take it easy, but so far in 15 laps, we've seen 2 cautions, both of them have been self-spins, but Marinak leads us into 3.
Leader taking it out of turn 4 here. He's got some company by the Mets car. New York Mets. That's Jose Gonzalez sporting the black paint scheme tonight. Scott Simley in 3rd, with CJ Lavere rolling off in 4th there behind them. Matt Lacrosse did slip back a little bit, as you mentioned, and now he's in 5th spot.
Yeah, we can put a blanket over the top 4, maybe even the top 5. Here comes Lacrosse looking for some action, but Jose Gonzalez, he's on the bumper of Stefan Marinak. Looking to the inside, he's at that quarter panel, and they're side by side entering the turn 1. Marinak led that lap, but I don't know about this time. Battle's on in turn 2.
It's like Marinak is going to fall victim to 2nd spot. Now Scott Simley looking up underneath Marinak into turns 3, with CJ Lavere closing in the gap as well. As you mentioned, throw a blanket on them. They're side by side off 4.
And as they continue to race side by side, the 26 of Gonzalez, who leads that lap, he's going to pull away even further, but with them side by side also helps the guys behind them close up. We got the 21 of Lacrosse, Brotherton, and another caution on the track.
Same exact situation coming off of turn 4. John Wilco gets loose, can't correct it, overcorrects it, spins it out, hits the inside wall, heavy damage. In fact, his night may be done. If not, he's going to have an immense amount of damage. John Wilco in the 62 car. Can't even read the sponsor on the front of that car. I think it's Yachtsman or something like that. Boatsman. Man, what a hit.
Yeah, another nasty hit. Again, 20 laps, 3 self-spins, all off of turn 4. I'm telling you, Keaton, it's a mix of the tire, the setup, and the track. There is a big transition period there from coming off of the corner. Even though the corner and the straightaway are both bank, it's almost like they got to come off of a hill and they have to land onto the straightaway, not just a smooth transition. I think it's really throwing guys in for a loop here with the loose setup.
I don't know about Kyle Taraska, and I don't know about the folks here at Dover International Speedway with them calling it the Monster Mile, but hey, I might change it to the track that's too tough to tame. It may be a little too tough to tame tonight, as we've had 4 cautions for the same exact situation.
Yeah, and as we focus on the cautions, let's focus on might be changing the complexion of this entire race. Stefan Marinak in the 24, we saw him stay out under that last caution, pitting this time, and he seems to be the only one, at least for the leaders, pole sitter to 24, Stefan Marinak. I think that had to do with him kind of getting almost run over there on the restart. We didn't see him pull away as we saw in the prior restarts by about 5, 6, 7 car lengths. It was a really tight battle for the lead there. So now Stefan Marinak, he's going to be restarting in about the 15th or 16th position. You're going to have to drive up through the field, 4 tires and fuel for him, but he's going to have to drive up through the field. And we saw how treacherous has been in the back all night so far. So going to be, hopefully, keep that nose clean and maybe make his way back up to the lead.
As Marinak finishes his pit stop, we're going to take our first commercial break. You're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live here at Dover International Speedway on MW Productions. We're back live here at Dover International Speedway. The pace car lights have been extinguished as the field comes off rolling through 3 and 4. Jose Gonzalez going to restart the race here tonight. Scott Simley to the high side. CJ Levere third. And fourth on the outside is Matt Lacrosse as the pace car gets going And man, did Jose not take off. Woo!
Huge jump for the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. He's going to lead him in that New York Mets car by about 8 car lengths going into turn 1. Story of the race right now is the 24 Stefan Marinak, our pole sitter. Dominated the race so far. Kind of got off sequence with pit stops. He's restarting in the back right now. He's back in about the 12th or 14th position as they run. He's got to try to make it up back through all the cars, and like we were touching on earlier, a lot of self spins in the back of the field in this first 20-lap segment of the race. So he's got to try to keep that nose clean. He's got the car to do it. Oh, and there's trouble in 1. Lacrosse with a huge save there to 21. Matt Lacrosse tried to dive underneath of looked like the 3 car Scott Brotherton, and they touched fenders. Just dove it in there, clipped the apron, got it sideways. They're tracking through turn 1. An amazing save by the 21 of Matt Lacrosse.
Matt Lacrosse, no stranger to knowing how to wheel a race car. He showed just there that he could do it, as he made one heck of a save. Look at the battle here, Kyle, right here, 8th, 9th, and 7th spot, man. Jay Randall Watkins, 77 car. Oh, putting the block on Ryan Vaughn right there, coming off in through the corner, but Vaughn said, no, sir, I'm going to bring my Ford right through here, and he does.
Yeah, it looked like Watkins just got loose, and he got stuck out there trying to salvage any position he could get, but he kind of just gave up to fall back in line. And then touching back on that Lacrosse incident, kind of looked like that he thought that Brotherton was going to give him the lane down there, and I kind of think that Brotherton did. But what I touched on earlier, the nature of the track, to dime in the corner, you kind of got to move up about a lane and a half in the center. And I kind of think that's the momentum that Lacrosse kind of carried entering the corner, and he was just automatically just expected to go up there and Brotherton would give him the lane. And we have never caution on the speedway.
And let's see, this one looks like it's coming from Douglas Wyatt. And coming off of turn 4, he'll get loose, come inside. Oh, and grill the inside wall there. Same. Man, turn 4 is just not, it's not anyone's friend tonight.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, because 2 and 4, I mean, this track is one of the most symmetrical tracks that we have on the NASCAR iRacing circuit. It's just a concrete oval with, you know, just a mile in length, 2 corners and 2 straightaways, but man, I don't know if it's with turn 4, if it's a matter of with the sun beating on that, because turn 2 is a little bit more shadier, might be a little bit more grippier, but I mean, everyone is really fighting hard off of turn 4.
Oh, I see why. I see why, Kyle. Look at the girl right there on the front row coming right out of 4.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, man, if these guys are professional sim racers, they're not looking at the laser scan crowd, man. They're looking at the racetrack. I don't know what the deal is tonight, but I mean,
she's a good-looking brunette.
Keaton, if that's your type, then you go after it, man. But I'm here to watch the race, but not really a fan. Not a fan of the caution lap so far, but tough break for Douglas Wyatt. And I mean, you got to give these guys credit. I mean, even if they're spinning in the back, you know that they're giving 100% every single lap, and you just see how much these guys and these cars and these setups are so much set up on the edge. And for these guys just trying to give it all and trying to make up as much time as they can, and unfortunately, it's just not working out for some tonight.
No, it isn't. And let's see, we're just at 100 laps to go here. 30 laps have been complete, and I think they can make about 60 laps on fuel. I mean, you know, just to talk here about fuel situation, we may not even have to worry about green flag pit stops or any conserving fuel, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think for everybody, it's a one-stop race from here. But I think, like I kind of touched, the story of tonight's going to be the tires, not so much the fuel. But we were just talking about Stefan Marinak, how he had to pit under the last caution, run around the 9th, 10th position when that caution came out. Bunch of the leaders, they came in under this past caution here, and Stefan Marinak, he stayed out, along with CJ LeVere. And they're going to be restarting 1-2 here, so Marinak pretty much picking up right where he left off. See if he can keep it up there this time, not lose any more track position, try to stay on pit sequence with the rest of the leaders. And then this may be his race to lose from what we've seen so far, Keaton.
Yes, it could be. As we have somewhat of a round of pit stops under the caution flag. CJ LeVere staying out, so he'll be first. Couple of drivers, Ben Burnett still 5 laps down, Stephen Herring 7 laps down. John Wilco still trying to fix out the damage on his car. Douglas Wyatt has a little damage to his, Frank Coons, as well. And we're working that lap, let's see, 30, 31.
Yeah, it looks like this looks like the kind of race where if you could just keep your nose clean for the entire duration of the 130 lap event, you might lock yourself into a top 10. I mean, self-cleaning racetrack is just eating up one car at a time. See the 98 of Herring, the 37 of Burnett, they already have major damage. The 5 of Wyatt, he's still getting his car fixed, but I mean, that was a hard head-on hit to the inside safer barrier on pit road. I don't think his car is going to be 100% enough where he'll be in contention to at least battle for the lead here, from what we've seen with some of these front runners for how fast their lap times have been. But I mean, if we get a couple more of these cautions, and I gotta say this, it's been amazing enough that all the wrecks have been self-spins and there hasn't been a multi-car incident, because the corner, especially coming off of turn 2 with the horse track right there and the wall coming all the way out to pretty much, there's really not that much of an apron on the backstretch. The wall pretty much comes right out to the racing surface on the concrete. It's really difficult to see the exit of the, down the straightaway before you're actually on the straightaway, coming off of turn 2, and then with the crossover bridges over there on that end. So it's and the same thing in turn 4 with the pit wall coming out so far out to the racing surface. You're in the blind. You're blind here coming off of the corner on exit, and if there's a wreck in front of you, you're not going to see it till last second. Sometimes you don't got enough time to react. So, kudos to all the drivers for not only not the ones that have been causing the wrecks, but the ones that have been avoiding.
Yeah, excellent point there to throw out there, that they have all been self-solo spins, and that's just the track versus the driver, not the driver versus the driver. As we get to go back green here, once again here at Dover, CJ Lavere will lead us back to it as he gets off to a good start, but man, Marinac kind of stood with him there.
Yeah, it's going to be a best battle we've seen so far in the turn 1. Marinac's going to fall in line about 3 car lengths back, but he's going to try to carry the moon, get a huge run off of 2 down the back straight. It looks like he might have got the wall a little bit there off of 2. But oh, big wreck on the backstretch, entering turn 3.
Oh my, smoke coming out from beneath the 19 of Edison Lemma Jr., but it's actually also going to be the 28 of Ryan Vaughn. These guys get together going down the backstretch, a driver versus a driver situation here. And both of those drivers are going to suffer damage, and everyone else will get by safely. And
yeah, trying to see exactly what happened here. It looked like the it looked like the 28 of Ryan Vaughn. I think it was the 19 of Edison Lemma Jr. Looked like the 28 just didn't realize that the 19 was up there. Maybe thought he was clear. I mean, it was very close, but I don't know. Looking at the replay from another angle, looks like the 19, maybe he spun his tires a little bit down the straightaway, and he just bounced off the wall, and he just came right down on the 28. 28 was a victim there, got hooked in the right rear. Tough break for both of them, but man, I was just I hope I didn't jinx it, Geek, because we were just talking about how all these self-spin wrecks and how good guys were doing avoiding them, and then right off the bat on the restart, we got a 2-car incident.
I know, that usually the MW bug will get them sooner or later. And as the ITSR race officials are going to work at cleaning up the track, we're going to step away, take a second commercial break. You're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live here at Dover International Speedway, Season 2, Race 1.
In a world where survival is the only rule, and feelings have no place, where winning is everything, and weakness is fatal, How much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
And welcome back, folks, where we've just wrapped up some pit stops under the green flag. As we're getting set to go back green, and Stefan Marinac will lead us to it. CJ pitting on that caution flag there, but Marinac takes us to the green and leads the field off into turn 1.
After a short stint of hanging out in the back of the pack, Stefan Marinac into 24 leads, and dominating lead so far, pulling the field down the straightaway. But the 35 of Chad Schilling, creeping up there into the second position, trying to make some noise. And then behind him, looks like Scott Simley, Jose Gonzalez, Matt Lacrosse. A bunch of these guys just trying to hang in there in the top 5, but Marinac dominating so far.
Little battle here up towards the front. Jay Randall Watkins in the 5th spot, and Scott Simley, who just took it over. And Randall Watkins is going to lose that spot. So top 5 driver now is Scott Simley in the 68. Is Randall Watkins starting to try to power wheel it back around him to the inside. Going to run out of room.
Yeah, great move so far by Simley, especially off of turn 2, running the outside, trying to carry that momentum, and he perfected the move, pinched his 77 down a little bit, almost clipping the apron, and he's able to pull him down the straightaway. He kind of got shuffled out onto the outside on that restart there, couldn't get down to the bottom. Almost lost a couple more spots to the 77, the 36, and 3 were all lined up behind him. And now look at Simley pulling away from the 77 and looking for more here in turn 1.
Oh yeah, look at the 35 car, Chad Schilling way up top racetrack side at Dover. And that blue and black Chevy Panther car that you see is Rich Jett in the 36 machine. Godzilla, sporting sponsor, trying to throw his nose in the mix for 7th spot and 6th spot.
Yeah, great battling move right here, right outside the top 5. We saw Schilling. He's moving backwards right now. I know it might be an issue with his car. He was up there in the 2nd position not too long ago, but he's just lost another spot there to the 36 of Rich Jett. He's going to fall back in line. Things are starting to calm down a little bit. Looking a couple spots back to CJ Levere. He was the leader when this caution came out. He didn't hit. He's got some fresher rubber than the rest of these guys here, so he's going to try to pick up some spots, try to get back up for the lead. And again, looking further up in the field in the 4th or 5th position, it was the 3rd position actually at 21 of Matt Lacrosse. He got real loose into turn 1. Again, had a dirt track it. He saved it. Another great save all by himself though, but looks like we have another caution on the speedway.
Coming out of turn 4, Douglas White in the 17th spot, 5 car gets loose, overcorrects it, doesn't hit the inside wall. Instead, he takes it this time to the outside wall, and he'll spin off into turns 1, and he's going to get collected by the 98 car of Stephen Herron. Stephen's just going to come through there and just power drive the passenger side of the car. And Stephen Herron's night may be done as the smoke starts to pour.
Yeah, tough break for Wyatt. He came off of group 4, got real loose, and he chased that car down the entire length of the front straightaway here at Dover National Speedway, spinning those tires, but just wasn't enough. Might have been okay if he didn't get hit by Herring, but I think Herring was expecting Wyatt to kind of hold his car up there and hang on, keep that foot on the brake pedal a little bit longer than what he did, but then the 5 car started to roll down the banking there entering turn 1, and then the 98, he did hit the brakes and he tried his best to avoid the 5, but unfortunately really hard hit, and I think the 5 and 98, both of them will be done for tonight.
Some cars taking the opportunity to come back down pit road here during this yellow flag caution. 85 laps to go. As looks like some guys stayed out. Ben Burnett, actually that's not Ben.
Yeah, that's actually Jose Gonzalez, yeah. And CJ Lavera had stayed out. An interesting strategy, because we saw under the last caution, Lavera, he came in the pit, but he stays out under this caution just 2 or 3 laps later. Same thing for Gonzalez. So one thing I would say the story of the race so far, Keaton, 45, 46 laps in or so, not so much. I mean, obviously there's been an atrocious amount of cautions, but varying a pit strategy, and I wonder if that has anything to do with the new tire model, but guys are kind of, no one has, I don't think we've seen one instance so far this race where the entire pack of the lead lap cars have all pitted together, whether that be some guys staying out, other guys coming in. We've always seen 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 guys stay out under every caution trying to get that track position back, because it is really hard to pass here at Dover National Speedway, being such a narrow and difficult track to get around. So guys are doing their best to get as much track position as they can, varying pit strategies, and eventually it's all going to come together here in about, let's say about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, we had a nice little stint of green flag run there, about 10 laps or so. And now with this green flag, or now with this caution flag, it's going to slow things back down a little bit. So,
right, and as a driver, what you got to be thinking, you mentioned how we had a short green flag stint there. When is that? Every race always has a long green flag run, and it's going to be a matter of when that green flag run actually occurs. If you're a guy like Stefan Marinak, you're hoping that green flag run about maybe, let's say 30, 40, maybe 50 laps. Maybe that happens right now after this caution. But if you're CJ Lavera, Jose Gonzalez, since you stayed out under that caution, maybe you only want to see the race go about 10 laps or so, and try to pit and then try to get back on sequence with the rest of the field. I mean, that's kind of what, like I said, that's the story of the race right now for me anyway. The pit strategy, the alternating pit sequences, where all these guys are going to match up at the end of the race.
yes, that's exactly right. And we are closing in, although not yet, on that halfway mark. Actually, around lap, 65 will be the halfway 50% mark. So a little less than halfway home. Jose Gonzalez currently leading the race right now.
Yeah, we're just about 15 laps from halfway here, Keaton, and as we see Marinak up there, another thing we're kind of noticing too is a pattern of the front runners, guys that are for real in this race. And not saying that any lead lap car could still come back and win this race, but you got Gonzalez, Lavera, Marinak, Lacrosse, he's been consistent top 5. Scott Simley, we saw Scott Brotherton up there in the mix, Chad Schilling. These guys are the ones that have been up here, up in the front for a majority of the race. So we got to keep an eye on them as we approach halfway in the second half of the race. If they can maintain that track position, be there with 83 laps to go.
Pace car getting ready to dive down the road here. Jose Gonzalez going to take us to the green flag. CJ Lavera back up front. How about that? He'll start on the outside at second spot. Pace car's down. Jose's call when to go, and he'll go now as CJ will fall back a little bit, but he'll claim that's 2 spot going off into turns 1.
Yeah, and he got a jump, but he didn't get as big as a jump of what we seen earlier in the race. Gonzalez with Lavera right on his bumper. Marinak right there, put a blanket over the top 3. They're going to battle it out off of turn 2. Battle in the backs, Chad Schilling around the 8th position. Just got around the 3, Scott Brotherton. But right now we're focusing on the top 3, Gonzalez, Lavera, and Marinak.
And let's see, third, Stefan Marinak, as you said. Matt Lacrosse, fourth. Scott Simley, fifth. Sixth is Jay Randall Watkins, seventh. Rich Jett, Chad Schilling, eighth. Harvey ninth, and Scott Brotherton in that 3 car is 10th. They are all single file, for now at least, as the 4 car CJ LeVere may be trying to sneak a run here at Jose.
Trouble for Marinak. Marinak gets way loose off of turn 4 and the caution's out. Big complexion changer in this race. The dominant car of the evening, the 24, Stefan Marinak, falling in line in the 3rd position, and he just got the same thing, the same sad story we've been seeing the whole entire race here, Keaton. Just got loose off of turn 4 unexpectedly, and once again, it shows you how much on the edge these cars are with that hard lick head-on in the inside wall. I gotta say that Marinak, he may be out of contention here at Dover International Speedway.
Oh yeah, going back in my monitor here, looking at that spin coming off of turn 4, like you mentioned, and getting into that wall, he ate the wall up big time. I mean, he practically hit it at 100 miles an hour, and the car just did about 5 to 6 spins, crisscrossing back and forth through the tri-oval there, or the little straightaway.
Yeah, just looking at the front nose of the car, the splitters really tore up. He kind of hit the wall pretty square, but hitting it square with the front end is a lot worse than hitting it square with the back end here on iRacing and any kind of stock car racing series. So just a really tough break for him. But he's still on the racetrack and come down pit road here, try to get all the damage fixed. Want to see how well the crew could prepare it to the best of their ability to get the car as close to where it was before the accident. Then maybe he can still salvage a good finish here, but at this rate, I mean, who knows? Maybe he can still come back and win.
Well, we'll find out shortly. I'm going to use this opportunity as we're about less than 10 laps now from hitting that about close to 10 laps now away from hitting that halfway century mark. I'm going to go grab a hot dog down here at the concession stand. We'll be right back, folks. You're watching Race 1 of Season 2 in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live Tuesday night, Dover International Speedway, the Monster Mile. We're back here live at the ITSR Twisted Cup Series where we have just got the 1-to-go signal here to go back green. Pace car, most laps led tonight so far. Jose Gonzalez not too far behind him though. Kyle?
Yeah, and we got to keep an eye on the 24 Stefan Marinak. Still on the he brought the last caution, and hate to sound like a broken record, but I mean honestly, he has been the most dominant car of the evening so far. He's now in the 17th position, 1 lap down. Looked like he elected to get all his damage fixed, or at least most of it, instead of just trying to stay on a lead lap. So might be a race-winning call. So he is in the lucky dog position. He is the only car 1 lap down. So we're gonna keep an eye on him. But for right now, Keegan, we got to focus up front. 26 at Jose Gonzalez is going to lead us down. 75 laps to go here left in this event. Jose Gonzalez, he's been going pretty early on these restarts, and usually a big advantage for him here going into turn 1. It's huge to get into the corner and not have to have a battle side by side, just to run your line, run single file. Let's see what happens this time.
Pace cars off. Jose Gonzalez as well off to the races, off through the turn 4 there, back off into the front stretch and into daylight in 1, as he has separated himself quite nicely from CJ LeVere, who runs second.
Yeah, but LeVere, he's starting to fight back here. Had a huge run there in the center of the corner, got through there much better than Gonzalez. He's got to run down the back straightaway, 2 car lengths back. Now maybe down to 1 car length here in the middle of 3 and 4. Lacrosse and Assembly look on.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding. He's there. He's about 2.5 car lengths, maybe 2 just car lengths back. Maybe a car length and a half as he's closing the gap ever so close. CJ LeVere's second spot. Jose leading the race, leading the charge off into turn 3.
And one thing we got to keep in mind as this race goes on, the track is going to start to rubber in, going to change track conditions, going to change setup and how the cars handle. Might fall into the 4 of CJ LeVere, might fall into his hands here. He starts to close the gap ever so slightly on that 26 of Jose Gonzalez. Right now it's a 2-car battle for the lead.
Pretty much everyone's single file right now. As, let's see, 91 car Bobby Terrell getting passed by Ryan Fong. That is for position 13.
Yeah, and I got it. You mentioned the 91 of Bobby Terrell. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't been running better. Well known over Real Sim Racing, the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking, and I know he's really he loves running that Nationwide car. I mean, you know just as well as I do, Keaton. He loves running that Nationwide car. Always a threat there, and I don't know, maybe he just has a little bit, maybe trouble with getting the throttle down here on with a slick setup on a slick racetrack, or I don't know, but I expected a little bit more out of 91 Terrell so far as we approach halfway. Yeah,
Bobby usually doing real well at tracks. I don't know if Dover is his favorite track or not, but I would imagine after tonight, if he ends up finishing 14 or worse, it may not be his favorite track anymore. But, you know, Bobby could be just kind of lingering back, maybe not trying to push anything quite yet. Who knows?
That's right. Could be expecting a long green flag run here, trying to save the tires. Don't make a huge difference, but Gonzalez not saving anything right now. He's actually starting to open up a gap here on the 4. CJ LeVere opened up by another 10th. He's now 4/10 of a second ahead of LeVere. It was just 2/10 a lap ago, but we have another caution.
Ryan Vaughn coming off of turn 4. Gonna get loose, and he's gonna overcorrect it, which is probably easy to do, it looks like, and then he hits the inside wall with the rear of the car. That will bring us out for a caution, and we just are under 3 laps to go.
And it's really weird to see these guys get so loose when they're behind somebody. Something that we really haven't mentioned yet in this broadcast, but is how aerodynamically these cars are. They're so aero-dependent, meaning they're so dependent on the air, where any kind of disrupt with the air, whether it be dirty air right behind the car or clean air in front of everybody, really changes the handling of your car. And usually when you're right behind a car and the air is taken off of the front nose of your splitter, really makes your car tight, not so much loose. And a lot of guys have been getting really loose behind other guys. Not really sure what we're seeing there. It might just be, maybe it's just part of the setup. It is a hot, slick, and sunny day here in Dover, so that could have a lot to do with it. But if you had to hit the wall, it's better to hit with the rear end than the front end.
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, Ryan, you know, did hit it with that rear end, like you said. So that's, if anything, that's good. His front end now, from an earlier incident, remember that side-by-side with him and Edison Lemon Jr., they wrecked it together. So he's got some damage from that incident. And now it looks like everyone is down on pit road.
Yeah, for the first time all race, the entire field comes down pit road. Going to be watching the battle here ever so closely. We got Lacrosse in the second pit stop. He's getting 4 tires right now, but Levere, he's going to come and he's going to try to get the 26 of Gonzalez, but Gonzalez is going to get it. 26, 4, and 21. Win your battle off of pit road.
There you have it. Hey, how about this? Look at Edison Lemon Jr. in the 19 car. He's in first right now. Is he going to stay out? Possibly.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if he's gonna stay out. Maybe he just stayed out just to lead a lap, maybe trying to prevent some guys from getting the wave around, maybe some of his rivals, but looks like he's gonna peel off here. Just got that extra bonus point for leading a lap ahead of all these guys. I mean, this is one race, but we've mentioned it. This is the first race of a long championship point season. Every point matters, and if you're having trouble at Dover, maybe we talked about how difficult Dover is, and it's such a unique track. Maybe the track does not suit Lima's style. Staying out here to lead a lap, get that bonus point. We saw him have an issue earlier up there in the field when he got into the, I believe it was the 28 of Vaughn. Them two got together going into turn 3. So he's been struggling all race, but to be able to take advantage of an opportunity here to lead a lap, smart move on him to get a points battle, because he's really not going to give up any time from what he previously, where he was previously running.
Quick rundown of some of the tracks that we get to go to here in the coming weeks with the season 2. Listen to these are pretty funny. Pocono Part Uno 74, the Bow Memorial 80 at Michigan, Put a Cork in it 30 in Finion's Cup. Greener Grass on the other side, 100 at Kentucky Speedway. Paint One Up, presented by Hippie's Paint Shop at Daytona, 74 laps there. And Fisher Cats Baseball at Loudon, New Hampshire, 130 laps. Shooting Bricks, Pacers Basketball, 70. I love that, Indianapolis Oval. Pocono, Park Doss, 74. Hold My Beer and Watch This, Bristol Night, 150. That's going to be a fun one, folks. June 12th. Excuse me. Not June 12th, August 12th for that one. Cruising the Glen at Watkins Glen. And Lions football, listen to this, a hope for the Super Bowl 80. Not with Matthew Stafford, right, Kyle?
No, but I gotta tell you, those are some pretty funny names. There's some pretty unique names there to name just to name a sim race, but yeah, I think my favorite one was Put a Cork in it at Sonoma. We might have to put a cork in this one. We're only halfway and we've had about 8 cautions. I don't know if it's too soon to say that or not, but just being an honest broadcaster right now, Keaton.
Yeah, I like the one that I'm not too big into basketball, but watching the Pacers versus the Heat the other night, shooting those bricks. I hope there's not any Pacers fan listening tonight, but if you're a Heat fan, you gotta love that. Shooting Bricks, Pacers Basketball 70, Indianapolis Oval. Love it.
Yeah, keeping it close to home at the famous Brickyard in Indianapolis Motor Speedway, only not too far from downtown Indianapolis where the Pacers play, but
where they shoot the bricks, yeah.
Where they do shoot the bricks, and I think we're gonna be shooting some concrete up in the air here. I think we're about to get the green flag, Keaton.
Green flag is out. Jose Gonzalez takes us to it. 66 laps on the board this time by, over the halfway century mark. Finally, here at Dover.
And it feels like a century as the field goes into turn 1 and coming off of turn 2. Gonzalez with a huge lead here. Biggest lead he has all night on a restart. Leading CJ Levere, but Matt Lacrosse is hanging in tight. Top 3 battling for the lead right now.
How about that? Jose Gonzalez leading the race. He's closing in on the most laps led by the pace car tonight as he goes off into turn 1. CJ Levere second, Matt Lacrosse a distant third for now. J. Randall Watkins fourth. Scott Simley now looks under that. Watch this battle for 5th. Scott Simley, the 68 multicolored rainbow-looking machine. Red Bull in the front. He'll look down underneath J. Randall Watkins down in turns 3. Off the corner. Randall for so far now is in 4th.
Yeah, we see Watkins, and he gets real loose there off of turn 4, and he's just going to relinquish that spot to Scott Simley in that Red Bull car. Way down to the inside, he's going to fall back in line. Some battle on in the back for the 9th position with Scott Brotherton.
Scott Brotherton in that 3 car running the old Dale Earnhardt retro paint scheme there. The black 3 with a good wrench and plus on the front. He falls back. Stefan Marinac, wow, you would have thought that Stefan, with all the damage that he occurred, that he would be somewhere near flirting with the back. And look at him, he just passed the 19 car for 11th spot.
And Keaton, I'm getting some fan mail here during this race, getting some tweets, and I think I got a fan here called Josh Williams. He must be a big Indianapolis Pacers fan there, because he's really bashing us about the brick jokes.
Uh-oh.
Well, I don't know what his deal is, but I think he likes to complain about a lot of stuff. I think sitting home watching this race on the computer, but
I will tell you, you can let him know, or he's listening now. I really like the Lance Stevenson. I like the character that he's got. I like how he kind of fooled around with LeBron James the last Heat game there. Yeah, blowing in the air and putting his hand on his face. I love it. I mean, you know, the announcers were kind of saying that he didn't need to be doing it, but hey, you know, that's what kind of makes basketball a little entertaining.
That's why real men drive race cars, right, guys?
No, that's why real men broadcast races.
Anyway,
the women are out here
before we get
driving.
too off topic, there is a race going on right here, and Jose Gonzalez really opened up the gap here to a 2.5 lead over CJ Laver. And then a caution comes out.
Right as we get back going, the caution comes out, and I'm going to guess this one's coming off of turn 4. Let's see. LD Sarabia, his first time tonight to spin now, I believe. The 11 car, Soul Gas, coming off of turn 4, loses it, and he does not collect the wall. Great job by LD there.
Yeah, although this was like about the 80th caution we had off of turn 4, he is the first car to not hit anything and bring out a caution. So good for him, good for LD. Give us something new to talk about here. How awesome is that? Good for him, LD, bringing out the caution, stacking the field back up, making it more entertaining for us broadcasters and us and the viewers, and he didn't even have to damage his car over it.
And I think it would be easier at this point. There's 20 drivers tonight in the race that started. I think it'd be easier to say which ones haven't spun off turn 4 than to say the ones that have. There's been a lot of different drivers spin off turn 4.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing you got to keep an eye on too. It just hasn't been the same guy over and over. It's been a wide variety of drivers. I mean, we even saw the dominant car tonight, Stefan Marinak, who now, by the way, is back on the lead lap in the 10th position. He's just, I mean, a lot of guys have just been struggling with turn 4. It might be due to the track conditions, weather conditions. Really not sure what it is, but turn 4 has been the trouble spot here with 56 laps to go.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Most drivers now are going to use this opportunity, since we had a nice little green flag run, to come down pit road. At least second on back wheel. Jose going to stay out. Uh-oh, Matt Lacrosse. Electrical issues. He was running third, I think.
Yeah, big trouble for the 21 and Matt Lacrosse. Guys are just dropping like flies here tonight, Keaton. Whether it's under wrecking their cars or just having mechanical issues, things happen out of their control. But we just got the message there. Matt Lacrosse, big electrical issues. He's in the garage right now. Hope to see him back on the track soon, but regardless, he's going to lose at least a lap or two here, get him out of contention for the win, it seems. Tough break for him, but CJ Laver, he opted to come down pit road, but Jose Gonzalez in a 26, he opted to stay out. Looks like John Wilco, he stayed out there with him. Gonna make it another interesting restart. I mean, look, Gonzalez had a huge advantage there on the rest of the field. With everyone on even tires, but now with Laver, he's pretty fast as well. He's going to have about 5 or 6 lap fresher tires. Don't know if that's going to make a big difference or not. It made a big difference earlier in the race when we saw Stefan Marinak stay out and the rest of the field was able to stay with him. So it's going to should be a fairly entertaining restart here, I would imagine, Keaton.
Yes. And in fact now, looking here, John Wilco did come down pit road. But Jose stayed out. And Scott Simley is the first one that pitted.
Yeah, Scott Simley, he won their battle off the pit road, just barely beat Laver by about a bumper. 35 mile an hour down pit road is crawling here. Can only do so much, but I think he was only in the 3rd or 4th pit stall. I think he used that to his advantage, help getting through the timing loops. But good for Scott Simley. He's been a player all race. He's going to be restarting second. But I don't know if I want to start on the outside here. Looks like the inside's been the place to restart. I mean, everyone's been spinning tires all night, but especially on that outside line, I've been watching on the restart, especially in the middle of the pack. It's really hard to judge when the leader's going to go when you're on that outside lane. But one thing that Simley has in his favor, Gonzalez has been fairly consistent with his restart timing points, and he has been going fairly early, sometimes even before the pace car hits the pit entrance.
Absolutely. And let's see here. 73 laps, I believe. 75 laps. 76 laps just being completed. So that's 54 laps to go.
54 to go, but 1 to go on the racetrack right now. Gonna go with a quick field rundown here. Jose Gonzalez will lead us to green on older tires. Everyone else behind him on fresher tires by about 6 laps or so. Scott Simley in second, Lavere third, J. Randall Watkins fourth, Brian Harvey fifth, Horton, Terrell, Schilling, Jett, and Lima Jr. They're gonna round out your top 10. Marinak's 11th, Brotherton 12th. John Wilco, he's going to be in 13th, Ryan Vaughn in 14th. That's your lead lap cars right now. And then we got the 11 of LD Sarabia. He's going to be 1 lap down in 15th. Burnett, Lacrosse, Coons, Douglas Wyatt, and Steve Herring are out the field right now. Wyatt and Herring are officially out of the race.
So here we are.
Along with the 48 of Frank Coons, my apologies.
Yes, Frank Coons as well. And here we are, getting set to go back green. Jose Gonzalez will take us to it. Great restart for him.
He really waited on that restart, going a lot later than what he has been going. I was talking about how consistent Gonzalez has been. Maybe he heard me up in the booth, but he went really late there compared to his previous restarts. Kind of bunched the field up big time, but it helped him get a huge jump. And he's going to try to pull away and open the gap up, but you got Lavere. He's been one of the best cars all night, and he got around a 6.8 of Scott Simley. It looks like with these fresher tires, he could really power through the center of the corner, pick up the throttle a little bit earlier than Gonzalez, and it only takes a couple thousandths of a second to make a huge difference here.
Going off into turns 2 here, look at that 8th place car, 9th place car battle, Rich Jett and the 91 of Bobby Terrell. Remember Bobby, he was back in 14th, he's worked his way up to 8th, just kind of sitting and waiting pretty. Kyle, I think he's really saving his stuff.
Gotta imagine that some of these guys are saving their stuff because we really haven't had that long green flag run yet, and guys have been dropping out like flies. Eventually, there's gotta be some kind of long green flag run. And again, everyone can make it on fuel from this point. Fuel is not an issue for any driver on the speedway right now, but it's gonna be an issue of tire management. When the cautions fall, if they do, and what laps they do fall on, gonna play real big havoc on these guys and when they pit or choose not to pit at all.
And let's see, single file now. That battle. Looking back,
it looks like we're trying to get a battle for the 3rd place position here.
Yes.
77 J. Randall Watkins. And again, he's been, if there's been a battle on the track, that 77 of Watkins has been a part of it. But as we once again talk about an awesome battle on the racetrack, and guess what, Keaton? Caution comes out.
Oh man, and this one's going to be the Bobby Terrell machine. How about that? Coming off 4, guess what?
I think he jinxed him, bud.
We jinxed him. And he's done. Car
a lot of smoke coming out of that 91 machine, and not too much of a front end, but going to keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on pit stops here during the commercial break. You are watching MW Productions here live from Dover International Speedway.
Hi, I'm Todd Mulstrom, driver of the 75M Ford Mustang GT. This is what I do by night. And this is what I do by day. I sell new Fords, and I've got the best selection of used inventory that you could ask for. Come see me down here at Section Ford.
Are you tired of getting hassled at the dealerships? Looking for a salesman that knows what he's talking about? Are you looking to buy a new or used car? Then look no further! Sexton Ford Moline, Illinois has the biggest selection of new or pre-owned vehicles, and Todd Malmstrom is the salesman you want. Todd is an expert when it comes to cars, and if you don't believe me, then you should see him race on a Sunday night. With his top-notch professional customer service and expertise, he will make sure you go home in the right car for the right price. No hassle, no haggling. Todd will make sure that you're happy when you leave the lot with your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, Sexton Ford may be the talk of the town, but so is Todd Malmstrom. If you're in the market for a new ride, then buy one from a winner. Todd Malmstrom at Sexton Ford Moline.
We are live, as the Michael Woolley instructor instructs us to say. And in perfect timing as well, as we have entered turns 3 and halfway into turn 4 as the pace car getting set to go green.
Yep, quick storyline as we're about to go green. A bunch of guys elected to pit that time as we see Gonzalez take the restart here. Gonzalez, Brotherton, and Horton, the top 3 on the restart, they all elected to stay out. Quick note on Gonzalez is the second caution in a row where Jose Gonzalez has stayed out, the second caution in a row where CJ Oliveira has come in. So he's got the gap from old tires to fresh tires is even greater now, comparing to 26 to the 4s that we now see Oliveira pass Brotherton like he's standing still. Oliveira moves up to the second spot with ease after restarting in 4th. Gonzalez continues to lead.
Gonzalez is leading, as you mentioned, and he's got a good, comfortable lead there. As the drivers set sail off into turns 2 here. Coming off the corner, the 83 car, Jay Horton, getting passed by Jay Randall Watkins, now 36 car, Rich Jett, looking for that Jay Horton position. Jay falling all the way back from 5th here, folks, to, let's see, about 7th in a matter of just a lap.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep watching this battle, which isn't a battle right now, but for the lead. Gonzalez and Oliveira. Right now it's about us as we approach some lap traffic here. It looks like the 19 Alima Jr. He's going to keep it to the inside coming off the turn 4, let the leaders come around. Smart thing to do. So the gap between 1st and 2nd right now, it was 0.8 of a second last time by. It's now 0.6 of a second this time by. Oliveira is closing, and he is closing fast.
Well, he's got to be. I mean, you know, the last couple of pit stops, these guys have all pitted except for Jose. Jose turning 22.9s and CJ turning 22.6s. This time by Kyle, the same situation, 22.997 for Jose, 22.662 for CJ.
And he closed the gap by about 0.4 of a second last time by. CJ Lovera, man on a mission right now, in the second spot, entering turn 3 underneath the monster bridge here. And I don't know how much longer Gonzalez can hang on to it, but right now it's a two-car battle. We got Simley and Brotherton hanging on in the third, fourth position. We got Watkins hanging back there as well, but right now it's all about that 4-car, CJ Lovera. He's starting to hunt down that Jose Gonzalez machine. And how soon, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he's going to catch that 26 car.
And he's there, he's about 2 car lengths back, coming off of turn 4. Let's see who's had the fastest lap time this time. Ooh, by a nose hair, Lavere had the fastest lap time. Smoke coming up from behind someone, that's Ryan Vaughn. He's down below the apron there, off into 3.
We see him down on the apron, but good call by him. Looks like he's going to keep it on the apron and allow this race to maintain the green flag running condition. He looks to come down pit road. Still watching this battle for the lead. Gonzalez and Lavere down to a 10th.5 right now. Lavere is there. Coming off of turn 2. Going to try to get a huge run off of the corner down the back straightaway. Can't do it this time, but he's really putting the pressure on Gonzalez. And whatever good Gonzalez has left in those 4 fresh tires, he's using it all up right now.
He is there, as you mentioned. He's about a half a car length now, maybe 1 car length coming off of turn 2 here. Lavere looking for the lead, can't quite try to find it now. By the way, Kyle, last lap, Jose was a little bit faster. So imagine that.
Yeah, and I kind of think because as Lavere, as he's going to look to make the move here into turn 1, but Gonzalez is going to shut the door on him entering turn 1. I think a lot of it has to do with Gonzalez leading it, with Lavere being right behind him. Lavere, that all that time he had so much running space to run by himself to close the gap, but now when you run behind Gonzalez, you're pretty much at the liberty of his pace, not so much your own. And it is you have very few opportunities to pass here at the Monster Mile. Pretty much got to back up your entry and set the guy up for you exit a corner, get him down the straightaway. It's really hard to do that, and no matter how fresh your tires are, you only get so many chances to really do that, to execute that to perfection, and that's what Lavere's trying to do right now. So Gonzalez, he's just struggling to hang on right now. Lavere is the fastest car, it seems, hanging right on that bumper. Maybe he's trying to lay back to make that 26 car make a mistake, but right now it's an awesome 2-car battle for the lead.
Oh man, what a battle here. The last couple of laps have been really interesting, and they're unfolding right before our eyes, folks. Kyle Tereska with me tonight in the booth is CJ Lavere. About the car length and a half still separates those two, as those guys still battle it out. Now, looking back here in 5th spot, 6th spot, look at this. Stefan Marinac has finally chased down the Panther Chevy of Chad Chilling going off in turn 3 here. Now they separate by 2 car lengths.
Yeah, good recovery for Stefan Marinac. We talked a lot about him in the first half of the race, leading the most laps so far, but it's been the Jose Gonzalez show ever since. But good job for him. He had that self-spin off of turn 4, just got real loose and got collected, hit the wall head-on. And, but again, he's trying to make a nice recovery here to try to creep back into the top 5. And again, I'll keep watching this battle for the lead, and I just got to think that Lavere is just sitting back there trying to save his tires. I mean, he's not really hurting himself by running in the position that he's in right now. Maybe if a caution comes out, it might hurt him a little bit, because he'd like to have that track position to be number 1 entering pit road to help him on pit exit to retain that first starting position. But we got a battle for the lead right here between 2 cars, and it's a 4-second gap to 3rd place to 68 Red Bull machinist Scott Simley, as we see the leaders catching up again to Lima Jr. in 19, but he's going to keep it low, looks like, off of 2. And it looks like Lavere might have slipped a little bit there. I'm not really sure exactly what's going on. But if I'm Lavere, I got to think that I'm just sitting there waiting for it, because the Gonzalez tires are going to wear off well before Lavere himself, where he wears his tires out. So I got to think with a driver mentality that 4 car, he's just sitting there right now, maybe trying to make that 26 make a mistake, but most likely just trying to run the same pace as Gonzalez to try to maintain equal tire wear. And if at that pace, 26 will wear his tires out before the 4. kind of talked in circles there, Keith, but you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. You know, the tire wear kind of is about even par, I think, now. Somehow, miraculously, though, Jose, without pitting the last 2 cautions for sure, is able to run faster lap times than someone who has pitted. Is just, he's got the line down pat.
Yeah, and I just gotta think is now the gap is 5 seconds back. Now I gotta say, I was fortunate enough to race with a bunch of these guys last night in Real Sim Racing Series, and it was a 160 lap event here at Dover International Speedway. And with about 12 laps to go, it was between me and we got a caution out. I'll tell that story after because it's kind of out the window right now, but caution out in the Speedway. Keaton, you see where it's at?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say turn 4.
It's just turn 4 as we see. Oh, it looks like Lavere drops way down to the inside. They're not sure if he has an issue, but looks like he's all clean and green. And is that a statement of fact there, Mr. Keaton, that there was actually a wreck off of turn 2 and not turn 4?
Yes, I know it's unbelievable. It was Brian Harvey and the 83 of Jay Horton, and LD Sarabia sticks his nose in the mix as well, so a little 2-car tandem pile up out of turn 2 down the backstretch late in the race. Oh! As Brian Harvey will get it going and spin it again. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it looks like we got some exchange of words there between Jay Horton and Brian Harvey, but I'm watching something very interesting here just happened on the Speedway, Mr. Keaton. It looked like the field was so spread out and they were waiting on the pace car to catch up or not. I think the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, he missed the pit entrance. Maybe he just didn't realize the pits were going to be open. Him and Scott Sibley both stayed out. But Lavere and the rest of the leaders, they all pitted there. Not really sure exactly what's going on right now, but I mean, I can't imagine that Gonzalez would stay out for a 3rd caution in a row, especially after a long green flag run like that. There's no advantage to that.
Well, I guess there's a possibility that he may not be pitting once again.
I don't know, man. I can't imagine that. But just looking at pit stops here, it was business as usual for the Ford team and a bunch of other guys. But I just gotta imagine that maybe there was a bit of a mix-up because the wreck was off of turn 2 and some guys checked up for that wreck. Other guys waited to catch the pace car. As now we see the 16 of Scott Sibley come in. So once again, for the 3rd caution in a row, the 26 of Jose Gonzalez stays out. And for the 3rd caution in a row, the 4-car CJ Lavere comes in. And they've been the 2 to really go at it here. I cannot... to say the least, I'm baffled right now, Keaton. I really cannot believe that the 26 of Jose Gonzalez stayed out. And not only stayed out once, but he stayed out for a 2nd time. There's only 9 cars on a lead lap right now. A couple of them are damaged from earlier incidents. So if he would have came back and just pitted again, he would restart probably around in the 6th position or so. So he really wouldn't have lost anything, even if he pitted the 2nd or 3rd time around. Really not sure what's up with the strategy of the 26 team, but if I had to bet my money on anybody right now, it's that 4-car CJ Lavere. I might go all in on that 4-car.
Well, we went 20 green flag laps there. Hard. He was turning 22.5, 22.9, 7, 22.8, 22.6, 9s, 8s, 8, 7, 7, 8, 9. So he's pretty much balling. CJ Lavere doing everything he could to keep up with him on 4 fresh tires then. So not only is he 20 laps old since the last pit that he's had an opportunity to go down, but he has last pitted at lap 62, folks. Lap 62.
And that's right before the halfway point of this race.
So he is on slow
if he were to stay out till the end of this race, he would have to go almost 70 laps on this set of tires.
Whew! He's gambling.
Now, what I wanted to point out before, which I figured was going to be irrelevant after the pit strategy would change here at about 20 laps to go or so, but apparently it's still relevant with the 26 staying out. I was fortunate enough to race with a bunch of these guys last night in a Real Sim Racing Series, and the battle was between myself and the 94 of Eric Brundys, who's a great racer, and we were battling for a lead. Jonathan Cadell, he dropped back and saved his tires. With about 12 laps to go, he was 3 seconds behind myself and Eric Brundys. Then I mentioned in the pre-race the cliff, where the tires just fall off drastically, where you're gonna see these guys run anywhere from the 22-second range, and they'll drop down to the 24-second range. 2 seconds is a huge drop here in a stock car race. And then by the end of the race, he beat me. He won the race, and he beat me. I finished second by 10 seconds. So it was a 13-second swing in a matter of 12 laps. So I cannot see the strategy here to 26 of Gonzalez, but he's going to go way early. Spins the tires. Good thing he was out ahead, but it's a battle. They're 3 wide for the lead here on the restart. Is this even legal?
Woo! I don't know if it's legal or not, but it's fun to watch.
It is fun to watch, and they cycled it out, but LeVere, he's going to fight hard on the outside of 36 of Rich Jet. First time we're talking about Rich Jet, pretty much all race up in the front. Chad Schilling and Stefan Marinak in the 5th position, trying to recover from that early incident. He's going to try to retain a solid, maybe even a win here, but a solid finishing position. Keep that eye on the battle for the lead, though. LeVere, he is hunting now. He's got 40-lap fresher tires than Jose Gonzalez, our leader, as the rest of the field does. Here comes LeVere, closing the gap, big time off of 2, trying to get a run, but clips the apron. He's going to fall back into the clutches at a 36 of Rich Jet, and they're going to stay single file after turn 3.
Wow. CJ LeVere, he's there, but so is Rich Jet, so is 35 of Schilling, as he nearly loses it going into the front finish.
Yeah, and LeVere got way loose, but he also had to run. He's going to get underneath that 26 of Gonzalez, but Gonzalez is going to pinch him off of the corner. Excellent execution by the 26 of Jose Gonzalez as we approach 18 laps to go. LeVere just cannot get it done on the inside. It's a 6-car battle, for the lead.
Wow. CJ LeVere trying to fight for the lead. Jose Gonzalez fighting him off, as you mentioned. And now he's got to try to regain some strength and momentum. CJ looking for the lead, possibly coming into turn 3 here. He's about half a car length behind. He gives him almost a tap there, as he's right up under him.
Yeah, but he has to run this time. He's going to look to the inside of that quarter panel. Not sure if he's going to get there or not. Gonzalez gives him the lane. They're side by side in middle 1 and 2. LeVere strong back on the throttle, but can't clear him on the exit. Gonzalez is going to carry that momentum and clear him down the back straightaway. And they're going to battle on again in 3. But regardless of what happens here, Keaton, you have to give credit to that 26 car of Jose Gonzalez on such the tires are so worn out compared to the rest of the field right now. And to not even maintain any kind of track position, but to maintain the lead throughout, you got to tip your hat off to the 26 team of Jose Gonzalez. Just a matter of fact, what a great run for him, regardless of how this race ends with the results.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, he's worked that car all over the track tonight, and currently still doing it as he's shutting the door once more on the Fearless Racing Chevy of CJ LeVere. Now CJ gets a good run off 2. He may look in 3 and 4 here, possibly for the lead. No, he'll stay behind as he settles in 2nd.
And I still cannot believe it. That 24 car, Stefan Marinak, do not count him out of this with splitter damage and all, running in the 4th position. What a recovery for him as he takes the high side entering turn 1 and 2. Trying to look around that 36 car, Rich Jet, but he's just going to fall back in line. And it's a solid 4-car battle, and we still got Schilling and Simley right there in 5th and 6th. I mean, any one of these top 6 right now, and even the rest of the guys on the lead lap, but especially these top 6, what a battle here. But now LeVere, he may have him this time. He looks to the inside, he gets down to the door. Here comes Gonzalez, he's going to give him the lane on the inside. We've seen this once, will it happen again? Gonzalez is going to pitch him down, and they remain side by side, but Gonzalez still has to run. They're going to go side by side again into turn 3. Gonzalez has the lead. LeVere gets real loose on the inside. He clipped the apron, jumps up, and LeVere goes around. CJ LeVere spinning on the front straightaway. Contact with the inside wall, and the caution is out.
Turn your headset on, because this is going to get fun. CJ, let's see, coming off the corner there, Kyle. He got a little wobbly. Oh, and Rich Jet just barely nicked him. And I don't think LeVere's going to get too much damage from that, as he just barely gave the inside wall just a little bitty.
No, that was not a hard hit at all, but what a battle between Jose and Gonzalez. I don't know how Jose was able to hold him off for that amount of time. I think some of it has to do with the tires, some of it has to do with the driver talent and the configuration of this speedway, Dover International Speedway. With such swooping corners in the middle, you could really run that outside lane and carry the momentum off the tight exits to each corner, really dime in the corner. He really used that to his advantage here. But now we got to look I mean, I got him,
Will he
and
pit?
like you said, Lavere, he did not get too much damage there, but you know he's going to pit to try to get damage fixed. What a tough break for him. What do you do now? 10 laps to go. Gonzalez has made it this far on old tires. Does he pit or stay out this time? He's showing to stay out, but we can see a fake pit maybe at the last second. And no, Jose Gonzalez stays out again for the 4th caution in a row. Rich Jet, he's going to be the first and only taker to come in. We got Chilling, Marinak, Simley. They're all going to stay out behind him.
9 laps on these tires since the green flag run. 9 hard laps from Jose. So if these guys pit behind Jose, I think they take him. But because these guys did not pit, Rich Jet, LD Sarabia, John Wilco, CJ Lavere, I don't think they're going to be able to work up through the field through Simley, Edison Lima, Marinak, and Schilling to get to Jose, and Jose may be able to fend these guys off.
If Jose Gonzalez can hang on to win this race, I counted him out after he stayed out after the 2nd caution. It's been 4 cautions since CJ Lavere has pitted. Since Jose Gonzalez has pitted. If he stays out, I'll be the first person to march down to victory lane and shake his hand and congratulate him on a great run. I mean, I said I was baffled before, but I am more than baffled now. I don't know. I really believe that the right call here, Keaton, is to pit to get 4 fresh tires, but I don't know. But we'll have to figure it out. We're going to take one more commercial break here, and we're going to go green to the end here on MW Production. You're watching Racing Live from Dover International Speedway.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks and terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
DGVertec.net's primary goal is to provide you with a successful website presence. They have purpose-built their web servers successfully throughout the years. The stress testing has been done so that they can provide you with an enhanced web hosting technology that they design for using future standards today for tomorrow. They offer 24/7 support for all web hosting plans. Their team answers support tickets 24/7. So if you have a problem at any time, an agent will be more than happy to help you. If you're not satisfied with your service within 7 days, then you can get a full money back guarantee with a 99 uptime guaranteed as well, with plans for shared hosting starting at just $2.95. It's clear to see why DGVertec should be your choice for web hosting. Just go to www.dgvertec.net today.
Back live here. Green flag, perfect time in MW. Green flag, chilling to the outside, spinning the tires is Gonzalez.
Everyone's spinning the tires, and look at this, Stefan Marinak in the 2nd position, coming back from an incident where he self-spin by himself around the halfway point of this race. And look at Chad Schilling hanging in there, Scott Simley. CJ Lavere just for our last caution. He's in 5th trying to recover. It's going to be 6 laps to go this time by.
And I think everybody's trying to run down Gonzalez. Look at Marinak with the run, gives him a tap off 4, chilling to the outside as well as Simley to the bottom.
But Gonzalez continues to hang on, Schilling trying to make that outside lane work here as the track continues to rubber in the later stages of this race. But the balance between Gonzalez and Marinak, going to drive into turn 3 underneath the Monster Bridge once again. Marinak almost hit a bumper there. He's going to give him the bumper. Marinak into the back of Gonzalez. And big trouble for Schilling, Levere, and there's a big wreck in the back. Caution's going to come out, and Gonzalez is the leader. That may be the race.
The big one at Dover. I don't know how Gonzalez saved that. Gosh, what a save.
What an amazing battle, and that could be the battle to the finish right there. Marinak got a little bit too excited there in the middle of 3 and 4, and he got into the rear of Jose Gonzalez, and again, another amazing move by Jose Gonzalez, able to save that vehicle, especially for how worn out his tires were. And it looked like the 35 of Chad Schilling, he got into the back of the 24 Marinak when everything checked up. He was just trying to get out of the way going up the hill, and he just got loose out of the tire rubber up into the marbles, and he got into the right rear of the 4 car, and it just all went downhill from there. And Jose Gonzalez continues to lead this race on 40 lap older tires than the rest of the field. This is unbelievable, Michael Keaton. Unbelievable.
Yes, it is. And Jose trying to catch up to the pace car now, 75 miles an hour around the racetrack, as he will catch him off into turn 3. And 126 will be completed this time by. They've been doing 3 laps of caution. I think it might be a green, white, checkered, or a green and white flag at the same time with a checkered flag next lap after that. I'm not sure though, Kyle.
Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. As you know, with the iRacing series, with this service here that iRacing provides, the system pretty much dictates it based on the amount of cars that are damaged and how many cars are a lap down for how many laps to cautions are thrown. I mean, earlier in the race when we see a wreck, and if the guy's able to maintain a lead lap, it's usually just a quickie caution, 2 or 3 laps, but going to be really interesting to see. I hope the officials elect to make this go green and we get hopefully a 1-lap shootout. I mean, this race has been plagued by cautions, but it would be a shame for how awesome this battle has been for the lead over the last 25 laps or so. To see it end under caution would really put a damper on things, but regardless, Jose Gonzalez continues to lead, unbelievably continues to lead here at Dover International Speedway.
Let's see here. If we get the one to go here, I think we're gonna have a race. If we do not get the one to go here, Kyle, it may be over.
I mean, yeah, I think this will be the dictating point of the race. But man, just if it goes back to green, I mean, we saw it. Marinak pulled there in 3 and 4, and I can't imagine him holding back anymore on the last lap. But no. Moment of truth right now. Will the pace car lights go out? And it is kind of crazy, Keaton, to think that the most anticipated point of this race right now is the pace car.
It really is. Let's see here.
Looks like the pace car lights are still on, meaning that this race will end under caution officially, meaning that the 26 New York Mets car of Jose Gonzalez on older tires than... once again, I don't even know, but those tires are so worn out, and he was able to hang on to this lead, and I think Jose Gonzalez is going to bring this thing home in the victory lane here this evening.
Yes, he will, and Scott Simley going to get a 2nd place out of it, and Stefan Marinak going to get a 3rd spot.
Yeah, what a great recovery for the 24 Stefan Marinak, but what it could have been if this race just would have went green. Maybe if he was just a little bit more patient and didn't get into the back of Jose Gonzalez, could have changed the whole complexion of this race. Maybe he would have got Gonzalez the next time by. And you got to think back to poor CJ Levere, probably had one of the most dominant cars of the evening, and he tried and tried and tried to get around that 26 of Jose Gonzalez. A for effort, and he wrecked trying, and unfortunately did not work out for him, and he got wrecked again at the end. But wherever Levere ends up in this race, it's really not going to solidify how well he ran this evening.
A couple of cars smoking right now. John Wilco's 62 car smoking. 11 LD Cervia smoking. Ben Burnett's smoking. So you got to wonder, can these guys make it back around one more time? Well,
right, but yeah, I've been kind of keeping an eye on that too, dropping all this oil everywhere on the racetrack. But regardless, Not a scratch on that 20, maybe on the rear bumper, but there is not a scratch on that 26 car. I mean, all my years of sim racing, broadcasting, anything like that, this evening, to see the run that Jose Gonzalez put together, the storyline of how old his tires were on such a difficult racetrack where we've seen guys self-spinning all evening, even on fresh tires. I mean, this had to be one of the most well put together, most fantastic runs I've ever seen any kind of sim racer perform here, especially on one of the most difficult tracks on the circuit. What a solidifying win for Jose Gonzalez, and a great way to start off the season 2 here in this league.
Yes, it really is. Great job for him, as they're going to coast them out of turns 3 and 4 here for the final time tonight. Jose Gonzalez again will win Race 1, Season 2. Scott Simley second. Stefan Marinac will finish third. Fourth would be John Wilco. And fifth, top 5 for him tonight, Chad Schilling. And of course, folks, this is all unofficial. We're not sure what will be handed down, if anything, at the end of this race tonight. But it's in the books for now. And this is how we're going to keep it as Gonzalez fights off some heavy hitters tonight and wins at Dover.
Absolutely. And as we see Jose Gonzalez come around and take his victory lap, we're going to take another commercial break here on MW Productions, live from Dover National Speedway. We're going to come back. We're going to get you some post-race interviews.
Back live here with MW Productions, bringing you tonight's first race of Season 2 in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, live on Tuesday night. Race 1, Dover International Speedway, the Monster Mile, where Stefan Marinac would finish third. Stefan, great race. You tried everything, I think, at the end of the race, and man, I know you probably didn't want it to end like that, but my hat's off to you.
Yeah, I didn't have anywhere to go. He just stopped in the exit of the corner, and Chad was coming behind me, and I didn't want to have him run over me. So yeah, it sucks. We had a winning car, but third isn't bad considering what we went through.
I was just about to say, that was my next point there. You know, beating all odds and the adversity coming back, you know, we thought you were pretty much toast. The way that you hit that wall and rebounded yourself, your crew went to work on that car, and I'm telling you, you made your way up through the field, and I thought, is that Stefan? You know, did he pull out a reset? You know, but congratulations on finishing third tonight.
Yeah, I got really lucky. I nailed the inside wall, and I only got like 3.5 minutes of damage, so I got the majority of it repaired and went a lap down, and the caution came out really quick, so I was able to get that repaired. And I was still down by a cylinder, I think, and then I managed to get the engine repaired, and it was really fast at the end.
Well, next week, Stefan, we go to the Bermuda Triangle. Any thoughts on that racetrack?
Yeah, it's usually a fun track with these cars, so it should be a lot of fun. And I want to thank Hippie's Paint Shop, ITSR, AXO, Quick Car, and you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you as always. Stefan Marinak beating the odds tonight and finishing third at the Monster Mile. Up next to my left, Scott Simley. Also, but coming back from all odds and finishing second. Scott, would you have thought, if I told you at the beginning of this race, or maybe even at the middle of this race when you had most of your difficulty, that you'd finish second, would you say, nah, get out of here?
Yeah, I'd say I'd struggling here for some reason with the line, and you know, I just couldn't. It's tough for me to get a grasp of it. I'd be lucky if I got maybe top 5 if we wouldn't have had all the cautions. I'm sure a lot of people got taken out, but it's tough. It's just tricky here. It's tough to pass because you really need the whole track to make the right line here, and it's tough.
Yes, it is. We saw that tonight. The top line, some guys would get up underneath, you know, and have somewhat of a run, but the top line coming off the corner was the line to be in. And you know, Scott, coming into season 2, you had a good season 1, but coming into season 2, finishing second, race 1, you go to Pocono next week. What's your thoughts on that?
I like Pocono. It'd be interesting I haven't been there with the new tire model yet, so we'll have to see how it shakes out here with some practice. But I'm excited. I like Pocono. It's a fun track.
And as always, Scott, who makes it happen for that 68 machine?
Got to thank ITSR Racing, everybody that in the background, admins and everything. MW for putting all this on, and yeah, it's a good show.
Absolutely. There you have it, folks. Scott Simley, driver of the 68 car, putting it in second place tonight. A good podium finish for him in Season 2, Race 1. Now standing by in Gatorade Victory Lane with your race winner, the 26 car, Jose Gonzalez. He's with Kyle Tarasca.
And here I am standing next to Jose Gonzalez, and congratulations on your win tonight. And I gotta say, even though it sounds like some of your competitors aren't going to agree with me, but it's one of the most all my years of sim racing and broadcasting, I even said this on the broadcast, it's one of the most impressive runs I've seen. I gotta ask, what was up with your tire strategy? You had about 4 opportunities to pit under caution to be in sequence with the rest of the field, and you elected to stay out every time and stay out on old tires.
Yeah, well, I didn't decide to stay out on that next to last caution. I wanted to go to pit and get 4 tires just like everybody else, but I was leading and the pace car got out behind me, and so when I was past turn 4, the pace car was behind me, so I couldn't go back, and you know, I guess I shot the pit road entrance, so I was a dead duck, and I didn't want to go to the pits. I took a chance. I thought if I go and take 4 tires, I'm gonna start on the end of the line, and there's probably gonna be more wrecks coming up, and so I just took a chance. On the restarts, I stayed out most of the time just to stay up front and get out of trouble, and although those 2 restarts, man, those old tires, I was driving my butt off. I had nothing for CJ, and I had nothing for Stefan. I was just lucky that they weren't able to time it perfectly so they could, you know, sneak inside, and on the exit they were so much faster on the exit, and that's what happened there in turn 4, where Stefan got me. I mean, they were just, I didn't stop or anything. I was just driving my ass off, and he hit me from behind because he was just so, you know, so much faster. And so, you know, I was pretty lucky. I was actually gonna run out of, I ran out of fuel right now. I did a couple of laps to avoid Ben Burnett to get, he wanted to wreck me just for fun. So, and with just 2 laps extra, I ran out of fuel. And so yeah, I wasn't planning, but I mean, I guess I got very, very lucky. And thanks to CJ and to Stefan, Stefan gave me enough room so I could save the car. And CJ, he knew he was much faster than me, but he gave me room, and I pinched him. I know I pinched him, and we raced hard, but he's, you know, I got no problems racing with both of them guys. They're clean racers, and it was really, really fun.
Now I gotta ask you if you could briefly comment on, I'm gonna kind of ask you 2 questions at once here. You mentioned what
oh no,
wreck
just
at the end
one.
with Stefan Marinak. The incident at the end of the race, if you, because he, he kind of mentioned that it was almost like that you stopped in the center of the corner, but I kind of think that had to do with the older tires. If you could just comment on that incident, and then how you approach not only that incident, but the big win that you had here at the Monster Mile, just those 2 aspects of today's race, how you carried it into Pocono next week.
Yeah, no, I didn't stop or anything. I mean, I was just racing, and I just needed to get a little more time because my tires were so bad, and he was just that faster than me. And you know, I guess he thinks I don't know if he thinks I did it on purpose or not, but no, I was just racing as fast as I could, and that's what I had. So yeah, and for next race, I love Pocono, and I'm happy. This is one of the, you know, sometimes you get really lucky on a race and you win a race, and this was my lucky race. And next week in Pocono, that's also a very fun track. This is not really fun, but Pocono is a really fun track to drive, especially with these cars. So I'm looking forward to just have fun, and you know, I got this win, and I got it behind me, so next week there's no pressure, just have fun with it.
And the series here definitely starts off at 2 very unique tracks with Dover, the Monster Mile, and the Triangle of Pocono up in the mountains there. But Jose, a great run for you. Congrats on the win tonight, and look forward to seeing you race next week at Pocono.
Thank you very much.
Alright, and then that's Jose Gonzalez, your winner tonight here at Dover National Speedway. Headed back up to Michael Keaton for final words.
Absolutely great race tonight at Dover. We saw a lot of different strategies play out with the pits, and of course turns 4 tonight. It would be easier to name the ones that did not spin off that corner than to name the ones that did. And looking forward to Pocono next week, the Bermuda Triangle, bang bang bang, the Triple Crown 3-turn speedway. And we'll see y'all. For me, Michael Keaton, Kyle Tarasca, and hopefully we may have Evan back next week with us, but if not, Kyle will more than likely be with us. We'll bring him the hot dogs as long as he'll stick around with us. And of course, Michael Woolley pushing the buttons tonight and giving us all the good camera works. We'll see you next week at Pocono Bermuda Triangle.